Hi, I'm Phil from Driftworks. This is my buddy Jay. Today we thought we'd do a little catch up on the little bits and pieces we're doing on various cars in the workshop, bring you up to speed with what's going on with a few of them. Because we haven't really got enough for a single episode on one car, we thought we'd have a quick walk around. Yeah. So, pride of place. We have
under the fan, which isn't on at the moment because you can't have it on when you're filming. No. Man, it's hot today. It's going to be hot, I think. I know as Brits like to moan about the weather, but oh my god. It feels like holiday. I'm not in moan. It does a bit, but yeah, it's a bit hot at night, isn't it? Anyway, cars. That's what we're here for. Look. Little touch up. This is basically to give you an idea of the reality of owning cars that you've kind of made yourself. Multiple. Yeah, well, yeah, exactly. Everything, pretty much everything in here has some element of human adjustments. Yeah, but yeah, don't call it improvement. But adjustment. Exactly. Not built by robots. Everything's kind of got a custom flavour, and this is one of the things that I thought I'd show you that we're having to do at the moment. So you can see this here. And you can see this just about here. We were having a contact issue because Gaz made this door, this section of door here, and this is a bit of side skirt that's not on this car originally. It's modified from the RGT GT1 stuff, blended into my original LP640 side skirt. That was a fine tolerance, and when you shut the scissor door down, it actually was hitting that area. Yeah, just vibration and just rubbing grit into it. Yeah, I can probably show you on the other side. I've got a nice little plaque from Alltrace. That's pretty cool. I don't think I won anything other than a sticker. So yeah, you can see on this side. We got PPF on that still. Yeah, so it looks rough because there's PPF on it and all the sort of crap sits in it. But when you pulled up the PPF on the other side, it did pull the paint up as well, didn't it? I'm sure that one will too. Yeah, so you can kind of see this one isn't hitting quite as bad as the other side was, but it needs addressing anyway. So because this is a fabricated bit, luckily enough, there's enough meat on it just to shave it down ever so slightly with the file. We hope anyway. We hope. We'll try that side first. Yeah, we're going to give it a go and see whether we've got a bit more tolerance there. But again, sort of the reality of a very, very custom car like this, we've got another bit that we've been struggling with, is when I've been doing long journeys, when I've driven when I did 5 hours to Players. Yeah. Shall we remind you of that as well? Yeah. It's gone now. Drove this 5 hours to Players, and it's happened before, but it's dropping the left side throttle body bank, which basically means that the right side still works. You press the throttle and it kills the engine, basically. You can't move. So it will always happen as you pull up to traffic lights when it's super hot, when it basically goes to the stop, the bottom stop of the TPS. Or when you've done a really big blast, like through a tunnel or something, and then you lift off, it'll then trip it out, and this bank dies basically. You have to then through a tunnel. If you're that builder man that was filming, shouting at you, well, yeah, you got to do it, haven't you? Yeah. So yeah, it's really annoying. You have to key off. Not let the steering lock come on, obviously, key back on, but you also have to remember to drop it out of gear for some reason while you do that, because otherwise the ECU stayed powered up because of crazy Lamborghini electronics. Or our electronics, or something that we made up along the way. Yeah. So yeah, we've been, obviously, multiple times I've reset the range of the throttle motors themselves. They're these very small, very compact Gem V things, which are absolutely perfect for the job. We've made sure we're not topping out or bottoming out. The lengths are exactly the same front and back, but we might have found an issue with, I'll have to show you on this side. So on this side here, you can see I don't know if you can see that, I've got a spacer nut here that stops the other side of this protruding through and hitting here. I didn't think the back one was doing it, but it looks like it might just ever so slightly be touching it. So we're going to fix that and then go for a drive again and hope that it doesn't trip out. But my thoughts are that it's probably going to be something else. I don't know. Because the E46 M3 throttle bodies, it might just be that the TPS here, because it has a position point on the motor there and a position point on the actual throttle bodies themselves, and it's got one front and back, obviously. So 4 TPSs, there's a lot to go wrong there, really, isn't there? Well, 4 TPSs and 2 ECUs.
It reads off these ones for
does
position.
it? Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know what it does with the motor.
Yeah, just another little example of people looking at this from the outside, like, you know, Instagram pictures and videos, and thinking it's done. It's not. And things like interior trim panels dropping down.
That's probably standard Lamborghini. That's standard
Lamborghini stuff, but yeah, they're sort of pressed aluminium pieces, and they're quite a pain to fit up in the first place. So yeah, we're going through all sorts of little things that just make it more of a posh car, basically. But other than that, I think we're kind of
good for Belgium.
Good to go for Belgium, aren't we? I don't know whether you saw in the last video, but we are heading to Spa.
The 24 hours.
It's for the 24 hours of Spa, and there is a supporting race that has the RGT GT1 RSV.
I'm quite excited to see a hypercar go on the actual 24 hours. You know, you've seen GT3s and stuff a lot, but
yeah.
Top class.
It's going to be quick, isn't it?
I don't think there's many of them this year, but at least there'll be some.
Yeah, and you know, just an exciting adventure, get out of the country. Because we don't do much going out the country anymore, do we? Behind me is my new tow wagon, which is my Cayenne Turbo, which I went and picked up last week. It is boring old man car. Yes. Yeah, exactly. Well, this one I'm less worried about leaving places, but you know, there's
a little less crimey.
A little less interest from crime persons. Yeah, but it's a very, very nice place to be. But it's, you know, not my. Let's say it's not my daily driver, because I still always prefer to get into the 992. As a daily driver, but yeah, it's a very pleasant place to be.
Very similar.
And I'll tell you what the best thing is. Let's turn that off. This button. Oh, windy seats. So yeah, lovely place to be. Very dull, very boring, very powerful. Needs a few changes. So wheels, I've already lowered it actually. It took me 24 hours to find the old RS6 adjustable links, modify some with some all thread. Spent about 2 hours faffing about getting the ride height correct, and yeah, it's lowered. That's on medium mode at the moment, so it doesn't look too low, but it looks purposeful when it's on its sports or low setting.
What's the camera for on the front?
That's radar, so yeah, it does some very, very fancy auto cruise steering, lane assist. And I checked it when I was towing, because the way I got this was I took that trailer there, attached it to the wife's Macan there, which I obviously spec'd with a tow bar, drove that to the dealer in Cambridge, then swapped the trailer onto this, and then towed the Macan home. So yeah. There was probably an easier way to do it, but you know, it was a fun little adventure.
You could have gone on the train, I suppose.
Yeah, well, I looked at that. It was 4.5 hours. I was like, no.
Probably 700 quid.
And public transport.
You'd probably get cancelled as you set up.
Yeah, exactly.
Too hot.
So what else is going on? We've got James's Tesla, which is the dual motor Model 3 here. We are, as you can see, it looks a little bit slaminated. Testing a HSD kit on it. The front, pretty happy with. The rear, it's cambered in quite a lot, hasn't it? We did an alignment on it. What did it end up at? Is that
2 degrees, 2.5 degrees back camber?
Yeah.
We wanted 1, so...
Which is too much.
Standard, we wanted 1.
Yeah.
And we have got some spacers that have just turned up over there.
Yes, we have. So we've got some ST spacers we're about to stick on. However, when we get the adjustable arms for the rear of this, we might not need quite as meaty a rear spacer. But yeah, sort of a little bit of development on a new HSD coilover kit for this car.
Yeah, they're a 2-wheel drive kit to try as well.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
And they're actually a pretty basic car underneath, aren't they, really? Yeah. The electricity of the motor and everything is fancy, but there's nothing different about it from other cars, really. Fitting coilovers is quite easy. It doesn't have any EDC or anything like that. What else is going on?
Here.
So I mentioned the new trailer, I think in the last one briefly, but yeah, it's this aluminium Woodford that we went for. That's quite a lightweight trailer. and all of my cars, in theory, should go on it.
Have we tried the Lambo yet?
No, it's probably on the list of things to do, but I'm expecting Lambo back wheel there, something like that, maybe about 15 mil. It shouldn't be too bad, but yeah, loading angle on this is absolutely superb, and it's the Woodford Auto Cruiser aluminium. It's not all aluminium, it's got sort of steel chassis, galvanised steel chassis and stuff, but it's made as lightweight as possible, I think. What else is going on? Oh yes, the continual battle. The 964 is amazing. I've done quite a few miles in it now. It does have one thing that still bugs me. Well, like all cars, there's probably many things that bug me a little bit, but there's one thing in particular, and it bugs Jay a lot too.
Oh, makes it, yeah,
it ruins it, doesn't it, really?
Just wrecks the car.
Yeah, it is the clutch. So it has a triple plate OS Geekin clutch in it. It always has. And we always thought that we had an issue with the car's TPS and throttle on the original setup, and that was affecting the way that you engage the clutch and the zone that the map was in and causing problems with that. But now we've got the Porsche Haltech in here, we've got all new throttle body, all new TPSs, everything like that. It's still utterly dreadful to drive. So I was looking at, I know there's a Sachs clutch that you can get that fits this, but what I can't find out, and perhaps one of you can tell me, is can you fit the RS lightweight flywheel and the, I think it's 890 Newton meter Sachs clutch? Is there a combo where you can have a lightweight flywheel, because this has got a dual mass in it as standard, and have the clutch that will hold the power? Hopefully somebody can tell me. And part numbers would be awesome if you got them as well. We need slave cylinder as well, because it's got an OS Geekin one on it, and release bearing on the inside, and fork, yeah. So, yeah, if anybody's got any clues as to how we can make this more drivable, I don't mind having a stiff pedal in it. Nobody minds that. But having something that...
Snatchy thing.
Yeah, snatchy, horrible, bouncy thing, because it's made worse by the fact that the pedals aren't like a normal clutch as well. They're mounted to the floor. It's just unpleasant, and it means that I'd actually think twice about daily driving this, whereas normally, with most of my silly cars, I quite enjoy driving to work and back in them. E30, big news.
Back on its wheels.
It's back on its wheels after finding out that we'd massively bent both front suspension arms.
Under braking by the looks of it.
Yeah, so we had a set of DTM style arms on this when I originally bought the car with a load of bits and pieces with it, and we modified them to move the tension rod mounting point to get wheel clearance and to move everything with the wheel position where I've got it, because I've extended the wheel track on this quite substantially. We had that incident at Silverstone with a little crash, bent one in the crash. So we bought some more different brand DTM style arms and did the same modification to them, and unfortunately they're not made of the same material or same strength. Yeah, they're a bit cheese alloy, as Jay says. Yeah. And on the brakes, which was, I'd only run for about one session, maybe slightly less than that.
Yeah, and then the usual gearbox problems occurred. And
yeah, came in, found out that both wheels, both tyres had been hitting the back of the front arches, and it actually, that was what caused the anti-roll bar, sway bar end to snap as well. So yeah, long story short, we're not using aluminium components anymore. We decided to make our own because we have made quite a lot of suspension arms.
We've made a few for that Lambo.
Few revisions for the Lambo.
Yeah. These are nice and simple, just a straight bar print.
Yeah, just steel as well, so you know they're more than up to the job. They're heavier, but should ultimately be super strong, and we've got our own sort of rod ends and bearings in them that we use for all of the arms that we sell for other cars as well. So yeah, custom front lower arms on that. There's also some big news which I don't know whether I should say or not. No, it's a secret. I'll bring you up to speed on this, but in about, well, it's quite a long time, but we're not going to be using this for another month and a half, 2 months at the very least, because something big's coming. So yeah, watch this space, eh? And now, Jay, Mustang.
It's nearly there.
Yeah?
I mean, I've got to fix the fuel gauge at this point.
Yeah.
For some reason, the Haltech dash is not playing with the sender. and put some breathers on the rock cover and go get an MOT. But then I've got to be enthusiastic enough to insure it and pay the bill.
Yeah. But I'm pretty sure the moment we actually point a camera at you and make you do a burnout.
Well, I don't need much. I've been around the estate a few times and ignited the tyres.
Yeah, it has no issue with that, does it?
No,
at all?
I was a bit worried because the first time I booted it, I'll find you the video. The first time I booted it, it just fuel starved massively sideways.
Yeah.
And now I've checked, the gauge was saying 100% because it's never moved. And I've just checked and it's basically got no fuel in it. So
that's the reason.
Yeah,
that's fine.
hopefully the reason. And I don't need to put swirl pot and stuff in it.
Yeah, I think they do suffer a bit like most old school things with fuel starvation.
And the hanger, and it's got two 450 pumps in there, so it's probably sucking a bit of fuel.
But yeah, just basically keep it half full, it'll be fine.
Yeah, hopefully. Yeah.
So again, watch this space. We know you've been sort of wondering what's going on with this. Yeah, because it's basically, Jay's got sidetracked by the E30, and you had another little bit of fun in the 30 at Brighton, didn't you?
On my own, since Craig destroyed his car.
Yeah, and mine's broken.
And managed about 15 minutes because fuel started pouring out the bottom of it. I don't know why, there's nothing you could see from underneath. Took the covers off the top, that looks pretty dry, so it's not pouring out the top. So the next option is take the tank out, but to do that I've got to get it up here.
Yeah. So, not the type of thing you want to be rolling around the floor in the pits doing, so that's a shame.
Yeah, my Merc died, I bought a Land Cruiser.
Oh yeah, that's not here, but
No, that's not here,
it's a very
cool
cool thing.
tank over there for it.
Is there?
Yeah, so that's why I haven't got anything to tow the E30 here in at the moment.
Yeah.
Because everything's just broken. Except my Nova, because that's good.
Jay's loving the Nova, absolutely loving it. A favourite car still, yeah?
It's always the favourite car, yeah.
Everybody loved your video on that thing, it's brilliant, wasn't it? Lots of people getting involved from way back in the day.
Yeah.
No, very enjoyable. So what else is going on?
Other than that, I mean, blue Porsche is a blue Porsche.
Yeah. Starkey's is a mess.
Starkey's thing.
86 is still on the shelf.
The other four haven't moved.
Yeah, there's a missing one. There's the orange S15 because Martin used that at Goodwood. I lent it to him again at Goodwood, and he did a fantastic job. But did kind of smash the back end off it a little bit.
Apparently
just bumpers and a little bit into the lights on the fender bit. So he's just repairing that before he brings it back. There's a small threat from me that I might actually do some drifting at some point.
I thought you were going to say you're going to get the lowrider out. It's sunny.
I do need to do that as well, but that ain't got no AC, so I'm not getting in that today. It's going to be 37 degrees later on today or something like that. Too much. So yeah, S15 probably coming out. There's a very special event rumoured to be happening in September, so I might have to see whether I can get things set up.
How the country again.
Well, yeah. Well, we're leaving the country. Practice for Belgium next week, aren't we?
Yeah.
Craig's stuff next door. Everybody always asks about the Pajero. That's kind of on hold while he's distracted with.
The thing is, it's at a point where it works. So
and he is driving it daily, isn't he?
Same with the Aston, it needs stuff, but it works. So
so it's really difficult especially with Craig when he's working on customers' cars all day as well. You've got so much going on, and he's got multiple projects. You can only dedicate time to one thing at a time, and he's been dedicating time to his RX-8 a lot recently, which has gone pretty wrong, which you've probably seen in the video before this one.
He's a savage.
Yeah. Absolutely. But and again, that's just the nature of cars and projects like this. I know that a lot of people that watch this kind of have experience with builds and might have an idea of what it takes to do this, the amount of dedication and time it takes to build one car, let alone sort of multiple cars to reasonably high standards.
And they never finish, and there's always something, and
Yeah, and there's always stuff that bugs me. Like, I still look at the Lambo today, and the stuff that makes me want to pull it all apart again and start from scratch. That's the sort of level of thinking that you get with stuff like this, because you're doing stuff for the first time. Nobody's going to tell you how to do it. You've got to make everything up as you go along, and obviously you're not going to get everything right first time that you do it. So yeah, but
I'm probably not going to take it apart just so we can, because that's too much.
Let's have a go in it for a few years first.
Yeah, and get on with some of the other stuff as well, because yeah, we haven't told you anything about it. And again, basically the 10-into-1 manifold design is complete. There's months and months and months of work gone into it, back and forwards between myself and Celeritech. They've done an awesome job of it. I haven't pressured them to get the build slot to actually start building the manifold because too much going on. The moment that arrives, I know that all I'm going to want to do is get this down and sort it out. But as I constantly have to remind people, when I bought that back, the rule was that it would never get in the way of my other projects if I bought it back. And I know that sounds daft to a lot of you, because for some of you it's your favourite car, and for me it's one of my favourite cars, definitely. But it has to slot in sort of as and when
we do that one then.
In amongst the other stuff,
yeah.
which that is definitely next on the list, I think, for the big stuff. And then obviously there's just constant little battles going on around left, right and centre.
Yeah.
So yeah, probably about it. Constant battle, cars. It's all part of the fun. Hope you enjoyed this little walk around anyway. Give us a like if you enjoyed the video, make sure you're subscribed, all that normal stuff. If you feel like buying something from the Driftworks shop, that's also awesome, and we'll see you in the next one. Cheers.